Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you all are doing extremely well. So today in this video we are going to solve problem of the day of Geeks for Geeks, that is maximum XOR subset, right? So let me tell you the complete flow. First of all, we'll be understanding the problem statement, then the approach part, and then we'll be moving to the coding part. Right, so this is what we're going to do, but before proceeding further in the video, it's my request that if you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed our channel till now, then guys please make sure to subscribe. It will really motivate me to make more such content for you, and also you will be able to stay updated for all the upcoming opportunities. So do subscribe the channel and join our Telegram community as well. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description itself. Right, so let's understand the problem statement now. So the problem says okay, it is maximum XOR subset. So given an array ERR of positive integers, the task is to find the maximum XOR value of the elements from all the possible subsets. Right, so that's what our question is, that an array is given to you containing positive integers only. Your task is to determine the maximum XOR value of the elements from all the possible subsets. So here you can see n equal to 3 you have. These are the array elements 2, 4, 5. Now we're getting output as 7. The subset which is giving us the maximum XOR, that is 2, 5. Right, this is providing us the maximum XOR. Here is our next example. So here in this case you have just one only, and hence output will be 1. So what you have to do is you have to complete a function maxOR which takes n and array ARR as input parameter and return the maximum XOR value. Now expected time complexity is big O of n and auxiliary space they are expecting from you is big O of 1. Right. So if you will check topic text here, so they have given you sort of hint, that is bit magic you can go with. Now the brute force approach, or I should say the simple solution that will be coming to your mind, is that what we can do is generate all possible subsets for the given array, right? This is a array given to us. We can do generate all possible subsets and we can find XOR of every subset, and whatever subset is giving us the maximum XOR, we can go with that. But just think about it. In this case, you will be getting time limit exceeded, right? Because what they are expecting from us is they are expecting us to complete or to solve this problem with an approach having big O of n as the time complexity, right? So hence we cannot use that particular approach to solve this problem. So let's understand how we'll be solving that problem. So the brute force approach I was talking about was like this. In case you didn't understand, that let's suppose we have the array elements 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you are generating all the possible subsets like is 1, 2. So 1 XOR 2 will give you 3, then 1, 3. So that will give you 2. Then 1, 2, 3. That will give you 0. Then 1, 4. That will give you 5. That's how you are continuing. And let's suppose if you will take this one 3, 4. So that will give you 7. Right. So that's the, I guess this is the maximum possible in for this particular array, right? So this is what I was talking about. Well, but this approach is obviously not a good one, and probably mostly you will be getting the time limit exceeded for this particular approach. So now, what is the approach we are going to use for solving this particular problem? We'll be using Gaussian. We'll be using Gaussian elimination. So what this is all about, let's understand in detail. So let's suppose we are having an array consisting of element 9, 8, 5. Before proceeding further, let me tell you that our efficient solution is based on that particular cases. Well, you know that the number of bits that we use to represent all the elements is fixed. Widely we can say like usually it is 32 bits for integer in most of the compiler. And one more thing to consider is that if maximum element is having the MSB at position I, then result is at least 2 to the power I. So that these two things are fixed, right? So with these two consideration, let's proceed further and let's understand the approach. So what we're going to do is we'll be basically traversing all bits of integer starting from the MSB, right? So I hope that you must be getting these kind of words that I'm using MSB and all. So let's understand now. Let's suppose these are the array elements that we do have. These are the array elements 9, 8, 5 in our array. So if you will talk about the binary representation of the same, so 9 we have 1, 0, 0, 1, 8 we have 1, 0, 0, 0, and 5 we have 0, 1, 0, 1, right? So now if you will check here, So this particular bit is set here, or I can say this third bit, right? This third bit is set here. Okay, so what? Now we'll be checking, we got that this particular bit is set, so we'll be checking all the numbers in which also this particular bit is set. So here if you will check where this particular bit is set, in 8, right? In 8 this particular bit is set. So what we're gonna do is simply do the XOR of this particular element with that of 9. So what will you be getting is 0, 0, 0, 1. So now the value has been updated here and we'll be having, instead of 8, that will be updated to 1. Right? Okay, so this part is done. Now what we'll be checking is that in 9 the first number, third bit was set. Now we'll be checking that if in our second number, second bit is set or not. Here third bit was set, so here we'll be checking for the second one. So you can see here that particular bit is what? That is 0. Now you can see here in this number, this particular bit is set. So what we're gonna do is we are going to swap these values. So we'll be having 9, 1, 0, 0, 1, then 5, 0, 1, 0, 1, and 1. Okay. Now, as if this particular bit is set, so what we'll be doing is we'll be checking all those numbers for which this particular bit is set, the same thing that we did for 9, 1, right? So in this case we got 8. Okay, so here if you will check, you won't find any number for which this particular bit, or we can say second bit, is set, right? There is no such number, right? So there is no such number. Then we'll be moving to our third number and we'll be checking if in our third number, so 3, 2, 1, the first bit is set or not. So you can see it is not set. If it is not set, we'll be reducing further. Now we'll be checking for the 0th bit. So you can see in our third number, 0th bit is set. So now we'll be checking all the numbers for which this particular 0th bit is set, and we'll be doing the XOR operation for the same. So here you can see in this number as well, the 0th bit is set. In this number as well, the 0th bit is set. So we'll be doing the XOR operation. Right? Okay. So if you will do the XOR operation from here, what you will be getting is, first of all, let me tell you about XOR in case you are not aware. I'm not sure. Mostly you must be. In XOR is a bitwise operator basically, and if both the operands are similar, like is this one, the output will be 0, and if they are dissimilar, like this one, the output will be 1. I hope that's clear. Okay. So in this case, if you will check, so what your output will be 1, 0, 0, because these two bits are dissimilar, and as 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, they are similar. So in case of similar, you will be getting 0 as the output. Right. Now for this one, 0, 1, 0, 1, if you are going to XOR with this particular number, so you will be having 0, 1, 0, 0. Right. And it will remain as it is. Now there are no longer elements are available to continue the same operation. So this is what, this value is what 8, this is what 4, this is what 1. So these are the elements now present in our array. So we'll be simply XORing them. So if you will do the XOR, so you will be getting what, 13 as the output, and that's what our answer will be, right? So I hope the approach is pretty much clear for you. One more thing guys, it is perhaps, or I should say mostly, most of the time it will be possible that at once you are not able to understand the approach. So that's why do the dry run for the same. Take another example and do dry run of the same approach that I just discussed. Then most probably you will be able to understand that what we are trying to do. And this approach is known as, even though I have told you already, Gaussian elimination, right? So also one thing else you can do is refer the code part. Code is provided in the description, right? Code is in the description. Refer the code, take an example and try to do the dry run. It's not that just by watching the video, if you are thinking that you will be learning everything and that's what it's that simple. So of course not, it is not that simple. Take an example, try to dry run, go along with the code part. Let me show you the code as well. Let's understand this as well. Right, so I hope up till here the thing is clear. If not, do watch the video again, do the dry run, taking different cases. Perhaps that will be clear then. So here's our code. It is just almost similar, the approach that we are talking about. So we have just coded up. We have just done the same thing. So we are basically going to all the bits, right? From 31 we are starting, and we are traversing all bits of integer starting from the MSP. That's what we discussed, right? So we are maintaining two elements, max LE and max index, to keep track of the maximum element and the maximum index as well. Now, first of all, we are trying to find out the ith bit data set, right? We are trying to figure out the ith bit data set in our number, right? Okay, and then in this particular part, it is the same thing we are doing. We are basically figuring out the elements for which the the ith bit that we have found is set. So like we were taking 985, so in 9 part the third bit was set, so we were checking for rest of the numbers if in case of them as well that particular bit is set or not. If it is set, then simply you have to do the XOR operation. So that's what we are doing here, and we are keeping on index as well. I would suggest you to take a case, do dry run for the code, then probably you'll be able to understand, right? And after completing all the operations, I guess that we did in case of 985, so we were remaining with after proper conversion and all, we were remaining with the elements 8, 4 and 1. So at the last, this loop is simply doing what? XOR operation of all the elements that we do have in our array, and that's we are storing the XOR operation, the XOR value, we are storing this value answer, and then at the last we are simply returning answer, right? So for the difference, the code is provided in the description. You can just check it out and take a case, do the try run. Also let me know your feedback about this video, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. Actually this was a kind of new concept, so I hope that you have liked this video. Thank you so much everyone. Bye bye.